Military folk of Reddit, what is something you miss about your active service?
Walking. Even something as mundane as walking had rules. If you're a slow mother beep, you stay to the right so others can pass. If you stop, you get off the sidewalk so others can keep using it. I can't even go grocery shopping without feeling road rage. Too many twats walking shoulder to shoulder slow as beep and parking their carts diagonally across aisles. Beep you.
I miss my tank crew. I miss off-roading in a 72-ton mechanized vehicle. I miss the beep conversations we had. I miss being a young man and talking about all the dumb what-if scenarios we would argue about on the tank.
I think everyone will agree me that you miss the camaraderie. Knowing the guy next to you has your back and you got his. You don't see that much as a civilian. Everyone out for themselves. They'd give anything to go back to a weekend during airborne school partying on the weekend the fellas. Edit, wow, thank you to all my brothers in arms for the upvotes. Just reinforces what I said. Army, Air Force, Marine, Navy, hell even Coast Guard, we all in the same fight. Hooah.
U.S. Army here. I miss the people. I'm an Army brat and joined at 17 for 26 years. Luckily I live near the base now and interact with some of my old privates that are now senior leaders. I miss how much it could suck being with people you would never bond with in the real world, but still having the time of your life being tired, cold, dirty and sleep deprived. I miss jumping out of airplanes.
The language. The Army is the best place for creative insults. I work in an office now and it would be frowned upon if I told a coworker to go beep himself and to go floss his teeth with my gooch hair.
I miss the regimented lifestyle. You don't have to think and worry too much and just follow a routine. I liked not having to cook. And of course, I liked playing with all the cool toys. Talking about the Lithuanian military here, not US military.
Wearing your resume. With all the patches, ribbons, medals, insignia, you don't have to tell anyone what you do or how long you've been doing it or how good you are at it. They can see all of that information just by looking at your uniform. I literally stopped a MS cook in the Navy because he was wearing parachute insignia and asked how the hell that happened. Turns out he was a former Marine who told me, I'd rather spend my career making pancakes than becoming a pancake. Funny guy.
I didn't have to pay for rent, food or medical care, while I made $2,300 a month as basically a senior non-supervisor to often stroll around and make it look like I was working. Considering I didn't pay over $1,000 out of that paycheck for rent, food or medical that I do now, I made baller bank for a 20-something with only a high school degree. Now, beep employers making me actually work when I'm on the clock, and I end up bringing in a lot less in terms of what I put into my checking account at the end of the month.
To add on to what other people is the stability. You don't realize it at the time and you are frustrated with doing some BS work, but man, it is nice. Steady paycheck, amazing benefits, 30 days vacation a year, tuition assistance, GI Bill, housing, etc. I remember when my son was born it cost $20. After I got out it cost a few grand and we had great insurance. I make more money now, but it is so much more cutthroat in corporate and your job is never secure. I've seen so many friends laid off just so the company can save some cash and not even try to place them somewhere else. These are good people who contributed a ton to the company. I've seen 20-year employees laid off with no severance. It took about 5 years to learn to set better boundaries and understand how corporate works. It was a very difficult adjustment. I'm happy where I am because the military is difficult with always being gone when you have a family. I do miss the stability though. I never worried about my family getting sick because the healthcare was good. I knew I could depend on my friends in the service. Something happens, you have a group of people who will drop everything to come help because that is what you do. In corporate, someone will leave on paternity leave and come back to less responsibility because someone wants a promotion, so takes on their work. It's why people refer to their fellow service members as brothers and sisters instead of colleagues. Here is a fun example. A friend of mine was going through a divorce. We were all helping it out, but he mentioned that we was out of money and only had a 12-inch sub and payday was a week out and was just feel generally like Beep Chief was there in an hour with food and basically set up a schedule for all of us to swing by and help him out. When he was at work he was meeting with lawyers, financial support people, etc. to help him get his stuff sorted out. We all took on his work so he can get his stuff in order. Nobody thought twice about it or complained. Best part about it is he got some help, reconciled with his wife, and they are doing great 10 years later. Fun example in corporate. Team member was clearly depressed. Was showing up late because he just couldn't get out of bed. We raised it to our leadership because we felt he needed help. He was fired because the client complained, stopped picking up the phone when a couple of us would call.
The free classes. Getting paid while learning. Learning technical stuff and certifications that cost me nothing, and then later applying that to the job. That's the one thing I tell a lot of young service members. Take advantage of the classes and certs so once you are out your life will be easy. Majority of these high-paying jobs may be looking for someone with a BS or higher degree, but are also looking for that 2 years plus experience. For most vets, they already will have 4 years plus under their belt, which goes a long way compared to that college graduate whose only experience is in labs.
A Mustang for 96 easy payments at 19.9%.
The camaraderie, civilians suck goat balls at that.
The travel was nice. I got to see a lot of the world.
The pure lack of self-care and happiness. We thrived on misery and idiotic decisions, and I gotta say I wouldn't change anything in a million years.
Just a bunch of guys being dudes in the infantry.
The fact that healthcare just was. You didn't haven't to worry about paying 3 bills to go see your doctor.
I miss adjusting artillery. I still do it in my head, especially in heavy traffic. An artillery forward observer is just a guy in the woods with a radio link to an artillery battery, or 2, or 3, depending on what's going on. Secondary explosions or explosions of explosive things that have been visited by your artillery fire. Secondaries are a rush. The foe is the one who moves that battery sheaf, 6 tubes firing is 1, around on the ground. The battery itself is usually over the horizon from the target. It's like you have superpowers, you point at something and it blows up. Sticks with you. It's a high, might be addictive, but nobody is illicitly marketing artillery batteries. So much for American entrepreneurship. I feel like a junkie who has been cut off from his junk. Was fun while it lasted. Here's a taste. My first.
Weirdly enough, 24 hours battalion CQ duty. 24 on, 72 off. Hang around with mine coic playing games and taking phone calls from deployed soldiers and transferring them to their loved ones.
I miss being out on the open ocean on ship. At night on watch, especially when there are no other ships around, the night sky is so incredible. Then getting to see the sunrise at sea, and possibly seeing a green flash. Nothing like it.
I liked the DFAC. I also liked the dining hall in college. Guess I am a cafeteria kind of guy.
Hanging out with my buddies every day. Even if it's a beat day together is still pretty damn good. Especially beat days doing manly things like shooting things and making large objects into smaller fragments. Everybody, male and female, gets a man card after days like that.
Work ethics and not being treated like a worthless piece of beep.
My mates and I always reveled in the suck. After beep field exercises or whatever, we would always bond over how much it sucked or how many pineapples we copped. After time, I think I've distorted those memories and gaslit myself into thinking that all that actually was really fun. Which leads me to entertain the idea of getting back in. Then I check the spicy meme pages run by people who are still wearing the green skin and realize that the suck is actually real and pretty crippling. Which snaps me back to reality pretty quick.
Conversation. No topic was off limits on patrol.
The routine. Camaraderie. The bennies. Feeling like I mattered.
Just the people. The civilian world is a lonely place.
The fairly decent healthcare coverage.
May your day be filled with joy and happiness. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe for more quality content every day.